Hey everybody, this is SlyFearless, the owner of SMP Fearless, and I'm going to tell you about how to complete every quest currently available in the city world. Quests are essential to earning cookies on the server. It's a great way to get started before you start your own shop because you will need cookies to be able to lease out plots. You'll also need cookies to be able to buy items, and you'll need cookies to perform some simple tasks like warping to locations and TPing to people. All of these quests are going to be located in our city world, so if you don't know how to come here, this is actually where you originally spawned when you joined SMP. Just type /city in the chat to return right back to where this orange beacon is so that you can explore the city world. Do note that we have a map currently available right by where you go through the survival portal in the city world. You can refer to this map to find the locations of quests in case you can't tell from this video. Every yellow marker that has the word quest on it shows where a quest is located. Quests are located all over the map. You can see them in all different areas. Note that every quest has a different resetting time. I don't list them all in this video, but generally speaking, the harder the quest is, the less it will reset and allow you to complete it again. We're going to go in order from least cookies rewarded to most cookies rewarded, but I recommend you watch the whole thing because of course the most cookies rewarded is generally also the hardest. The first quest is relatively straightforward. It is located in the city's town hall just outside of where you spawn. You'll walk through the front doors, and at the front desk you will see an NPC called Miss Tulip. When you right click on the NPC, she will ask you for help, and she's going to tell you that there are some documents she needs you to deliver. She'll tell you this person you need the documents to deliver to is hidden in a giant tree, and she will pay you a fair price of 1,000 cookies for your troubles. And when you are ready to acknowledge a quest, you just click understood, and then you continue the chat prompts and you'll say the positive mission acceptance option. After you accept her request, you're going to go to where she asks, which in this case is going to be right outside. It's going to be over at the giant tree inside of the Tortured Librarians Department, or our SMP library. Here you'll find Mrs. Page, and you're going to basically interrupt whatever she's doing and give her the documents that the other lady asked for. Then she will tell you to go back to the receptionist in the SMP Town Hall. Coming back inside, you will talk back to Miss Tulip. She'll ask if you delivered the documents, and then you will tell her you have, and then you will get 1,000 cookies for your troubles. This is a quest that can be completed daily, so that is an easy way to get 1,000 cookies every 24 hours on SMP. Our second quest is going to take you a little farther out. This is another quest that will not require you to use any specific items. It will just require you to travel on foot. So you're going to come out over to this racetrack, and by the little tents next to the racetrack, you are going to find a guy named the Soldier's Racing Employee. He's going to essentially tell you that there is a technical failure, and he wants you to go bring this USB flash drive over to his coworker Kate. He tells you where she is. She's going to be at the Soldier's Racing office in the Oscorp building, which we will go to. He also tells you that he will give you 2,000 cookies for your troubles. You're going to come back out, and you're going to go over to the Oscorp building, which is located near spawn. Oscorp is this big building that is kind of resemblant of the Boston City Mayor Hall. And when you walk in, you'll go to the right and come up the elevators. You're going to want to make sure you are on the second floor. And then when you come in, there will be Kate on the right. Left, Sly, can you get your directions correct? Okay. On the left, you will see Kate looking at her notes in the Oscorp building. You don't need to give her anything specific. All you need to do is talk to her. And when you speak to her, she will know that the engineer guy sent you. You will hand over the data, and she will give you 2,000 cookies. This quest can also be completed daily, meaning that you can earn 3,000 cookies on SMP every day without needing to give anybody a singular item. Okay, I know I wasn't exactly supposed to backtrack, but there's another quest that gives you slightly less than the 2,000, but it does require you to give a NPC an item. Over here, a little farther away at this pond, you will find a NPC named Josh. He's going to ask you for your assistance, basically tell you that the river dried up or the lake dried up, and he's going to ask you for 16 raw salmon. He will give you 1,500 cookies for the salmon. So all you have to do is fish up those 16 salmon, and then you come back to Josh and you tell him that you have the salmon, and it will automatically be taken out of your inventory. You don't need to drop it to the NPC. It will just register that your inventory will essentially go to him, and he will give you the cookies in return. So here are the 1500 cookies he promised, and there you go. That is one of the easiest quests, but it also gives one of the least. So we will go on to some maybe slightly, or maybe not so slightly more difficult quests. Coming over now to the pool bar, which is located a little tucked away in the southwest corner of SMP. You're going to find a man who appears to be a little bit drunk. Well, it's the milkman just sitting by the pool. He's gonna tell you his head's pounding, he's had a little too many drinks, and he's gonna ask you for a glass of milk in the form of a milk bucket, and he will give you 2,000 cookies if you bring him that milk bucket. Then once you have obtained a milk bucket, you are going to come back for him, which at this point you will learn his name is Mathis. Give him the milk and he will give you 2,000 cookies in return. This quest also resets daily, but do note that not every quest on this list I will name does reset daily. Some of them reset weekly, every 3 days, or even longer than that for a few of the harder ones. Okay, ramping it up now just a little bit into some of the harder items, you're going to come over to the building that is labeled Play UHC in yellow and red letters. At the desk, you're going to find a receptionist, and she's going to tell you that, believe it or not, some technical errors are going on, and she's going to need some help because the IT team is in panic. She's going to ask you for 48 redstone repeaters and 32 redstone comparators. Yeah, so the challenges ramp up a little bit. But you'll get 4,000 cookies for this quest. Then when you come back with your redstone materials, you will give her the items and tell you that our server manager is going to be so relieved, and she'll tell you that the network owner and the manager for the server is going to be so relieved, and you'll get 4,000 cookies. This next quest is going to be one of the most complex ones out of the whole quest list. However, the items aren't generally too bad. You're going to come over to this big red and orange and yellow building. You're going to go inside and come downstairs for this barista. When you talk to Addie, she's going to have a little bit of frustration, and she's gonna tell you that she needs some supplies for her drinks, and she's gonna tell you that she needs certain items, and boy is it a list. So let's write this down. For this quest, you need 192 glass bottles, 64 nether wart, 16 blaze powder, 16 glistening melon, 16 magma cream, and 16 sugar. Yeah, so the quests are getting a little complex, aren't they? But since it's a lot of stuff, she's going to give you 5,000 cookies for all of this. But once you have all of the items, you can come back to Addie, tell her that you've got the stuff, and she'll thank you profusely and give you 5,000 cookies for your big troubles. This next quest is arguably quite a bit easier, and it gives you the same amount of cookies. You will get 5,000 cookies for your troubles here. You're going to come over to this little park near that library that you originally sent the documents to, and you'll find a little villager named Alex over on this little playset. He's gonna tell you that he's, well, stuck up here, and he's gonna want a slow falling potion for 5,000 cookies. Please note that this slow falling potion must be a regular potion that is 1 minute and 30 seconds long, just as it is originally brewed in a brewing stand. No additional add-ons or it will not work. Then you'll come to give Alex the slow falling potion, and he will give you 5,000 cookies as a reward. It's that simple. Pro tip, if you are able to get phantom membranes and you just brew away, you can brew 3 slow falling potions at once and have a backstock for this really easy quest. Next up, and please take note that this is one of the quests that doesn't reset too often, right near spawn over at the Billboard, this is arguably the easiest quest to find, you're gonna find Bob. When you talk to him, he's gonna tell you that the new Billboard is taking a toll on the city's electricity, and he's gonna ask you for 64 blocks of redstone, which, yeah, is a pretty big demand. But if you bring him those 64 redstone blocks, he's gonna give you 7,500 cookies as a reward. So if you bring him the redstone, he will ask you if you have any luck finding it, and then you'll tell him, well, you did, after some probably hard work. I would highly recommend you get fortune before attempting this quest, because otherwise it might take a little bit of time. But if you can do it, you'll get a bunch of cookies. Just know that this quest is not reset too often. I think it's about every 2 or 3 weeks. Centering back at spawn, you're going to come over to our SMP's hospital, which is located in the southwest corner-ish of the map. You're going to come over to the entrance, and you're going to find a guy standing right at the front. You'll see Brian here with his mask on. He has a certain amount of sick patients, I'm guessing 8, and he's going to ask ask you for 8 golden apples. The great part is he'll give you 8,000 cookies for all of this trouble. So essentially, 1 golden apple comes out to 1,000 cookies. Once you have brought him those golden apples, he will just simply give you the 8,000 cookies. Golden apples are one of those items where sometimes people don't know exactly what to do with them, so this is a great opportunity for you to put them to use if you have some lying around. So now we have only 6 quests to go, but every quest from now on out is worth at least 10,000 cookies. Coming to a new part of the map that we haven't really gone to, past the library and a little bit more to the east, you're gonna kind of come up these stairs and you'll see the train station on the left. Then you'll have a quest with the conductor. The train station looks so grand, but when you talk to the conductor, he's gonna tell you, well, the train's out of fuel. They can't run. So he's gonna need 64 blocks of coal to make this happen. Pretty similar to the one we looked at with the 64 redstone blocks and the power billboard. However, of course, redstone drop multiple every time you break an ore, and coal only drop 1. So this is especially where you are going to want a fortune pickaxe to really come through. If you can do it though, you get 10,000 cookies. Once you have completed this quest, he will ask if you're back already, and then you will tell him you got it, and you'll give him 64 blocks of coal, and he will give you your 10,000 cookies. The next quest is in a bit of an obscure area, so it might be hard to find, but the quest itself isn't necessarily that hard. You're gonna come over near the hospital, but you're gonna go into the trees and you'll find this pink building on its own over here. This is our SMP museum. But when you come inside and come over to the left, right, oh my gosh, Sly, you're gonna find Scarlet here with some other interesting deep dark artifacts. She's gonna tell you she needs help finishing her collection because guess what? She doesn't have a Skulk Shrieker. But if you bring her one, she's gonna give you a hefty sum of 15,000 cookies. The important caveat of this quest is that you are going to need Silk Touch to complete it. However, once you have a stock of Skulk Shriekers, this quest will become extremely easy. You can complete this quest once a week. And once you give Scarlet the Shrieker, she's going to give you 15,000 cookies, which is the highest reward yet. To get over to our next quest, we're going to come back around near the hospital, but instead of going to the right, we're going to go to the left, to this big brick building. Inside is Joaquin's bank, and you're going to find a guy named Mike in the window on the left. He's going to welcome you to Joaquin's bank. He's going to tell you a little more than he needs to, but then he'll tell you that he had a little bit of a stumble in the jungle, and he needs you to get a recovery compass so that he can find his items. If you do this, he'll give you 15,000 cookies. This might be one of the more difficult quests just because a recovery compass can be a little hard to find. However, if you already were going to get the Skulk Shrieker and you can find an ancient city, why not kill 2 birds with 1 stone? So once you give him the recovery compass, he will give you your 15,000 cookies. Going back over to the other side of SMP, kind of near where that fishing pond was, there's actually a series of apartment buildings that you may not be aware of, and you really have to come out here all the way north. So you'll come out to the complex and you'll find a girl named Rebecca waiting right outside of her apartment. She's gonna tell you that she dropped her key on a walk, she can't seem to find it, but she heard that an ominous trial key will do just the same job. Essentially, she's asking you to bring her an ominous trial key, but she'll give you 15,000 cookies for doing so. Of course, an ominous trial key might be sort of on the hard side in terms of collecting items. However, if you can stack these up, you'll be able to do this quest plenty of times. Once you give her the ominous trial key, she'll tell you she's relieved and she'll give you 15,000 cookies for your effort. Alright, we have 2 quests left, so let's come back over to where the train station was in this eastern corner of the map, and you're going to find this big building. It's pretty hard to miss. You'll see a Carty Burgers sign on the right, and then you'll see this big sandstone building with red pillars. This is our movie theater, or more specifically, SlyFearless Movies. So when you come up the front door, you're gonna meet a lady named Natalie working at the movie counter. She's gonna tell you her frustrations with the sound system because the soundtrack for a Minecraft movie is not working. So you're gonna have to give her a pretty hefty lava chicken disc, but in return she's going to give you 20,000 cookies. That is a pretty good deal. If you can do so, you can bring the chicken disc over to her and you will earn 20,000 cookies. If you've completed all of these quests already, you've earned close to 100,000 or maybe even a little over 100,000. However, there's one more quest that will give you almost half of that amount. Let's talk about SMP's most rewarding quest and how difficult it is exactly. So when you come from spawn, you're going to go over past the city hall to the left, and then you're going to come up on this pillar building that is, not mistakenly at all, the SlyFearless SMP courthouse. You're gonna walk through this grand door, get scanned in, and then you'll go to the left side or the right side, it does not matter, but you'll come through the courtroom and you will come across Judge Fearless. There's no manners here, you can just come walk up to her, you know, nothing serious. She's gonna tell you that she's run into a bit of a predicament, she needs your help, and she's gonna tell you that her gavel has been stolen, and she has a very important case that she cannot do without her gavel. However, a mace can work as an alternative. So, this is a very hefty quest, but if you can give her a mace, and it must be in full condition with no enchantments on it, she will pay you 50,000 cookies. I also recommend saying no to her demands just to see what happens. But if you don't want to do that, then come bring her the mace and see what ensues as a result. Have you secured the mace, SlyFearless? The court can't start without it. You'll give her the mace, and she will give you 50,000 cookies. Well, you must be pretty rich now if you've done all of this. If you were able to complete every single quest once, you would have earned a total of 161,000 cookies from quests alone. Of course, it's pretty difficult to complete every quest, but this would be a great starting point for you. And remember that quests are always resetting. Generally, the harder ones will take longer to reset. However, you know what items they require, so you can have a backstock ready in advance. Once you have this good starter amount of money, you will have more than enough to buy a plot on the SMP and begin selling items. If not already, there will soon be a tutorial on how to sell items on SMP Fearless, also coming soon. If more quests come out after this video, check the description. And if you have any other questions about how to complete a quest or anything in general about the SMP, please leave a comment down below and I will answer. If this helped you, please leave a like and subscribe for more content coming soon. Remember to stay sly, everyone, and goodbye.